All right, so how did it feel the first two games to kind of be back to playing games that count and having everybody together?
This weekend it was a lot of fun, especially being back in Washington where I'm from. So being around my family and having everybody support out there was pretty cool. It felt good to be on the court and play against play games that actually mattered. Friday night was a little tough, but I mean we'll learn from it, which we did, and bounced back the next night and got a good win. So we just gotta keep the momentum off of our last win going into tonight and the rest of this week and next week before we start conference play.
Yeah, how nice is it for you guys to be home for a while this early in the season?
It's actually really good, honestly. Like Coach said, we got finals coming up soon, so being on campus obviously helps with studying and things like that instead of being on the road. But being at home, it's going to help us, hopefully give us some momentum going into conference play. You know, hopefully we can get these 4 wins this week and next week before we start up, so it works in our favor.
When you start a season, how many games does it usually take to kind of get everybody on the same page?
Well, with this team, we have lots of scorers and lots of shooters, so we're still getting used to playing together and stuff. So I think having this amount of games is actually good for us. We can see, you know, like Coach said, which lineups work best together and things of that nature. So I think it's really good that we have this many games.
You know, Coach talked about it, and obviously a lot of good shooters on this team. Can we expect a lot of triple digits or high scoring uppers by you guys this year?
Well, I mean, in our first 2 games, we put up a lot of points. Not these last 2, but the 2 exhibition games we did. So I know we're capable of, putting up triple digits, but honestly, what we're really just focusing on right now is our defense. Trying to, just contain other teams because, I mean, yeah, we're going to have to outscore other teams to win, but we also want to be able to play solid defense and maybe win some games where it's not us outscoring them, it's just us actually locking down on defense and playing good defense. So,
Nikhil, let's talk about defense. I mean, how serious are you guys going to take your defense? I mean, it seems like maybe this team, everyone's pretty confident you guys can score points. I don't think people are worried about that, but it seems that rebounding could be an issue. You guys just don't have the height. Where do you guys need to be better on defense, or what can you guys do to compensate what you don't have defensively?
Well, during the SPU game, during the first half, we struggled a lot on defense. I mean, I felt like we were there on a lot of their shots. They were actually just not missing, it felt like. But once the second half came, we kind of buckled down. It was like, we got to play defense. And the second half of that game, I thought we played extremely well on defense. And so I feel like if we can play a full game the way we played that second half of defense, then we'll be just fine. We were playing more of their style the first half instead of ours, and then the second half we played ours, and we actually outscored them in the second half. So if we would have put 2 halves together on defense the way we did the second, I feel like that's how our defense should be.
Armchair quarterbacking and me not knowing all that much about basketball, I was pretty impressed when you guys were pressing in the second half. As talented and as deep as you guys are, as a team, or players, would you be interested in pressing all game or majority of game, or is that just take it out of you guys and it's a scenario factor?
Definitely think it's a scenario factor, but I also think we can do it the whole game. We have so many quick and fast players that there shouldn't be a time where you're on the court and not playing as hard as you can for a good 2, 3, 4 minutes, and then get the next guy in, and so he can do it as well. So I wouldn't mind pressing the whole game. It does get tiring after a while, but I mean, like I said, we have a lot of depth, so we should be able to do it.
Last year at this time, freshmen, sure, a lot of things were overwhelming and a lot going on. Sophomore this year, you understand how class works, living situation. How much better can Nikhil Lizotte be this year opposed to last year?
Well, my role is it's different this year. I'm obviously going to have to score a lot more than I did last year. But I'm willing to take that challenge, and obviously getting a year under your belt obviously helps a lot. Just like I remember when I was a freshman in high school to my sophomore year, it was a lot different. But I'm enjoying it so far. I'm just looking to win, just like everybody else is. So.
Yeah, last year you guys kind of took a while before you hit your groove and had to go and win the conference tournament. Have you guys discussed it all, or is it how aware are you that it would be helped to win all season long and not put pressure on yourselves in the final 4 games of the year to determine whether and where you're going to be in the region?
Well, I mean, a lot of the returners, we all understand that. Each game matters, and so each game we got to go play our hardest. And then the young guys will get on board with that as well. Obviously, they want to win just as much as we do, so we just got to take every game as if we lose, we're done. And I feel like if we go into every game with that mentality of let's win, we don't need to lose, then we'll be fine.
A couple questions for you, Nikhil. Compared to last year, this year you had an opportunity to see a Seattle Pacific team, a very good West Region program team, and then play a Simon before you kind of get back into this non-conference schedule against teams like Oregon Tech and Pac Union. How much is that going to help you guys to really elevate your game earlier this year and to really face that kind of tough adversity like you did against Seattle Pacific? How's that going to get you guys ready?
Well, obviously, when we played Seattle Pacific, they were a great team, and so it was kind of they hit us first in the mouth before we could hit them. And so I think that really taught us that every game we come into, we need to come out as if we're playing a Seattle Pacific every single game. I felt like we kind of came into that game thinking it was maybe going to be like the 2 previous exhibition games we had, and it wasn't anything like that. So we just got to pursue every game as if we're playing a Seattle Pacific type team, and don't take another team for granted. And if we do that, then we'll be just fine.
Coach hit on kind of the obvious size numbers for the Jacks versus a team like Seattle Pacific or even Simon Fraser. When you're looking at those kind of the height numbers for the Jacks versus other teams, how does that affect how you guys do rebound the ball? Is it more of having an aggressive mentality pays off versus just being 6'9", 6'10"?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it definitely, with playing tall teams like Seattle Pacific, you obviously got to box out. But with the team like Seattle Pacific, they don't really have to box out. They could almost just out-jump every person that's on the floor, especially against us. So we got to just know who we're playing and how aggressive we need to attack rebounds and things like that. If we play a smaller team, we may not need to, be as aggressive. But against a good caliber team like that, we should have known going in that we're not going to be able to out-jump these guys and get all the rebounds. And it's in their gym too, so they're going to be used to everything and the crowd. So we just got to understand all that coming into the game and just be ready for it.
One last question for you, Nikhil. Obviously, last season you were a freshman, and you got a lot of minutes early and throughout the season. This year, there's a crowded field of guards. They're all fighting for minutes and kind of clamoring for their shot to get playing time. What do you say to those young guards to help them take advantage of the minutes they do get, but also prepare for their time to shine?
Well, from the freshmen I've talked to, I'm actually kind of close with all 3 of them. So I just tell them, like when you get in the game, the best thing you can do is just play as hard as you can and not worry about anything else. Just play as hard as you can. And if you're open, knock down your shots. If you're not, don't force it. Kind of pretty much just let the game come to you, and they'll all be fine. Obviously, all 3 of them have played high level of basketball, so they all know what they're capable of, and we all do too. So, whether it's Tyler having 10 points or Jaron knocking down 6 threes like we all seen he's capable of, or Kellen slashing to the basket, getting steals, things like that. I just feel like if they play to their game, they'll fit in just right. So.
Yeah, I thought it was your gym with all those 22 jerseys hanging on that right there.
Thanks, Nikhil.